What's up, YouTube and Team 50K? This is Bystander X79. Guys, today I'm coming to you with my latest discussion video. And this discussion video is about getting ready for larger Yu-Gi-Oh! Events. Alright? For the purpose of this video, I'll be focused on getting ready for a YCS, but I will mention regionals and UDSs as well throughout the course of the video. But before we get into the meat of the video, three things. Number one, Team FTK is powered both by PayPal and Patreon. Both of these are donation links that are down in the description box below that help support the channel. It gets us the money to buy better cards, get better equipment, and ultimately give you better content to enjoy. So if you feel that you want to support us, please check out the link in the description box below after the video is done and make the donation. All right, PayPal is one time only, while Patreon is donations over the course of months of the year. All right, if you want to help the team in a different fashion, Team FTK is partnered with InkGaming, and we do have a discount code in the description box below, Team FTK10. Use that code during your checkout to get 10% off your purchases at inkgaming.com. And finally, guys, when you check out the description box below, please click on the links to our personal YouTube pages. We work extremely hard putting up content for everybody on our own channels as well as here on Team FTK. So we would love for you, Team FTK supporters, to come and support the members individually as well to help grow our player bases and fan bases as well. It'll just mean the world to us for the extra support. All right. With that being said, getting ready for larger Yu-Gi-Oh! Events. The larger Yu-Gi-Oh! Events start at the regional level and they go upwards to the UDS and YCS. All right. Primary thing is that regional is a lot different than locals. Locals, you go to maybe your local store, you play maybe for a couple hours, and then you go. A regional is more of an all-day deal. Typically, the tournament starts around 10. You're usually going to be winding up arriving pretty much between 8 and before the tournament starts to get into the tournament and get everything going. I mean, to be very honest, expect to be there for all day because you have you can have anywhere from 129 to 256. I know this is the last regional I went to by me, so we definitely had like 8 rounds. All right, to play in. All right, going to a YCS, expect to be there the entire weekend. YCS, you attract over 1,000, typically over 1,000 players, so you're going to be getting 11 rounds of Swiss each time a YCS comes around. All right, now. Not only that, but YCSs tend to be located more in centralized areas to attract larger player pools. A lot of times, that's going to require you traveling either by car if it's close by or by plane to get to the areas. With that being said, airfare, hotel tickets, and possibly rental vehicles are going to be necessary to be working into your budget. All right? If you're going with a group of a lot of different friends, you can probably split the cost up for the car, any rental vehicles, or hotel rooms between your friends. Always a good idea to go with a larger group of friends just so you can enjoy the event all together. All right? But like I said, YCS is definitely something that you're going to be needing to prepare for because you're going to be there all weekend. All right? And that's before the top cut plays. All right. With that being said, for people that are going to a YCS for a first time, you're going to need to know what the meta is. Now, all experienced players will tell you that the meta of the current format is going to be Salamangreats, Sky Strikers, Orchest, any variant of Orchest, whether it be Danger, whether it be Cyber Dragon, any variant of Orchests that's going to be in the meta. The Pendulum Magicians, whether it be regular Pendulum Magicians or Endymion Pendulum Magicians, and of course, Thunder Dragons. All right, those 5 decks you're going to need to know. Okay, best case scenario, and this is one thing that I like to do before going to an event, is basically get ready by learning what the decks are like. So what I would turn around and do is go through all the various decks, see what's being played, what's not being played, where are tech options, where are staples, and get an idea of how the decks are being built. Research a deck, how they're being played online. And once you get a better idea of how they're being played online, start building your decks on duel simulators like YGO Pro or even on Dual Book. Primary reason is because you want to be able to get as much practice time as in possible. All right. YGO Pro, I would strongly suggest going into first, primarily because you learn the interactions of the cards a lot better with the constant prompting of that particular simulator. Dueling Book is something I would save later for maybe like more analog training right before you're going to be going to an event. Primarily because Dueling Book is much more closer to how you play in real life. And if you have access to locals, make sure to start bringing the decks if you have them. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. To locals and practice in real life against other players. It's a good idea to do that because even if they're local tournaments, it's still a tournament format and you're going to be needing to turn around and get used to playing in a particular format if you haven't gone to a YCS or a larger Yu-Gi-Oh format. All right? Once you've built and practiced with all those decks, and I definitely would say you definitely want to practice with all those decks, find the deck you're most comfortable playing with and start practicing with that a lot more. Okay? And while you start practicing with that, start pulling together the deck in real life. All right. I typically like to plan a few months out ahead of time so I can have the deck built and practice it with in real life at least maybe a month or two before the event happens. All right. For those players that are on budgets, I mean, a lot of the current meta decks, there were a lot. I mean, a lot of reprints this year for the meta decks, whether it be through the Megatins or through other sources. It's going to be pretty easy to pick up those decks. I mean, the Endominium and Salamangreats decks, you can pretty much get their main deck, 90% of those main decks through the buying 3 copies of the structure deck, and that'll cost you, what, about $30? Then it's basically picking up cards from outside of it. With the orchestra stuff like that, yeah, it might cost you a little bit more money, but that's why we have the reprints from the Megatins, and that's the budget player's friend right there. Focus on buying the reprints from that set. It's gonna save your wallet a lot of money in the long run, and you get a pretty cool deck out of it. All right, but like I said, once you get all that stuff set up, and you practiced and you picked your deck, keep practicing until the event happens. I mean, if there's going to be a ban list released between your preparations and the event itself, keep an eye on what decks and what cards in particular decks that could be hit. And see if you can utilize those decks without those cards in it. I know it sounds weird, but it will help you in the long run and get you an idea of how the deck will operate. I mean, so start playing Orchestra without Nightmare Mermaid. Start playing the Guard Dragon engine without Arcropane. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can consider. All right. Now, when on dueling simulators like Dueling Book, best case scenario, especially when you starting out, you can select either a match with or a single with siding or a single with no siding. It'll get all the various people that are playing in that situation, whether it be TCG or TCG OCG, but it'll give you an idea. I mean, if you don't want to ruin your record on there, just play unrated, and then you can just turn around and type in a note, oh, Salamangreat decks only. I mean, this will turn around and tell you that your opponent that, hey, yeah, I'm probably, you could probably just even put in testing against Salamangreat decks only. I mean, it'll give you a whole idea of what's going on, give you a whole idea of what you're expecting, and what they should be playing against you. This way you can get some accurate testing in. All right? Not only that, but both Dueling Book and YGO Pro do have the replays for your duels, so you can actually go through those replays and actually focus in on how your opponent is playing against you. So you can get a better idea about how your opponent's thinking and how they're running their deck. All right? To basically intercept yours. All right? With that being said, and all this trading, all right, you're going through, it's also important for you to actually get some reading done. And this is going to be specifically in the tournament policies. You don't have to memorize these policies by heart, but you should know them well enough so you can actually function within the tournament scenario. It involves things, yeah, like what turnaround do during a tournament and stuff like that. All right, always read through these things. They're very important. All right, right before you head out for your tournament, you should be filling out one of these. This is a tournament registration sheet for yourself as a player. You fill in your name, last name, your ID number, which is going to be which we'll cover in a bit, date of birth, yeah, the event name, country of residence, blah 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 blah, email. You sign it, date it, and you just bring it and you bring it with you. I mean, it's better to do the paperwork for it, just in case they might not have access to the computer systems to help you register in. Other things you're going to be needing to be filling out would be, let me see if I have it right there. Oh, right here. The deck list. Again, name, event, your ID number, date, and then you fill in your monster cards, spell cards, trap cards, side deck, extra deck. And you hand that in when you register your deck for the main tournament. All right. Also very important, if you're planning on competing in side events, make sure the side events, if they require a deck list, that you have a deck list filled out for those side events as well. It's better to be safer than sorry in that particular case. All right, so you got the tournament policies, you got the things. One more thing that could help smooth things out would be the registering on the Konami Card Game Network. Clicking on that will take you to the site. You sign in for your first time, and it will give you your card game ID and barcode. And if you have a smartphone, you just bring it up, and they'll scan it, and you'll be registered for your tournament. All you gotta do is hand in your deck list, and you'll be good to go. For those players that might not have a smartphone, writing paper pencil is not going to be a bad thing. I mean, they really won't care about it as long as you're arriving early enough to do it. And I can tell you right now, sometimes you don't even have to turn on fill out the paper. All you have to do is give them your last name, and they'll look up your ID number and register you that way. So, definitely something that you can actually want to be doing is getting your ID number through the card database. Okay. The other thing about it is that it can help you pre-register for a particular event. Even streamlining the registration process even further. Great tool to have, and it's definitely something that I would strongly recommend you to do. I mean, I can tell you right now, last year at Comic-Con, they were pretty big on the tournaments, and I didn't have my phone on me to give them the thing. They just looked at my last name, and they entered me in the tournament because they were able to find me because I have registered on the database here. All right. Now, like I said, traveling to the YCS, what do you bring with you besides your deck and the playlist for your deck? If you want to bring a game mat, fine. As long as you know where the zones are, you're gonna be in pretty good shape. I would strongly suggest to get at least one game mat with you. I will also bring maybe one or two more decks to play pickup duels or in side events during the course of the event if you don't do too well. I know YCSs tend to have regionals as side events during the event. So hey, if you can't do well in a large player pool main tournament, you can always turn around and compete in a smaller player pool regionals. Great way to get a top and an invite to the nationals. I can tell you that right now. Bringing food, things like granola bars, bottle of water. What I would turn around and do is I would actually go out and invest in maybe like a Camelback. Packed it in my suitcase. I wouldn't fill it up, but I would pack it in my suitcase. Leave it opened as well. This way, when they scan your suitcase, they won't be, oh, you have a container and oh, it's open. So if you leave it open, they'll see it's open and yeah, it won't cause you problems. The primary reason why I say Camelbacks is because you can refill it and it can carry a whole lot more water in you, and you're going to be needing it the water to help you throughout the tournament. Snack bars like granola bars, kind bars, they always work well. Help keep you filled, give you enough energy to actually pay attention to what's going on. Bring in some money with you. Cash can actually help if you want to buy cards at the event, or if you want to also buy food. I mean, the last regional I went to, the tournament hosts actually were buying pizza from a local pizza restaurant and having it brought in the entire tournament. So that was actually cool of them. And who doesn't like pizza? I mean, um, other things. Also bring extra sleeves that match the sleeves that your decks are in. Very important. Just in case one of your sleeves might get damaged or anything, so you can just swap it out real fast. Without having to go through a whole issue with having the judges being called on you and then disqualifying you for having an illegal deck. I mean, always carry extra sleeves. Very important. One mat, a pen, a pad, and paper. Something, and that's something that I really do. I mean, you could probably go and invest into a life point calculator, but me, myself, I prefer the pad and pen method. Just keeping track of life points as well as mandatory effects and stuff like that can be very helpful, and it can help resolve issues without having to call a judge. All right. If it's the first time going to like a YCS, leave the trade binder at home. Do not be bringing your trade binder or multiple trade binders with you. It's just going to end badly for you. I was just much more focused in on playing the game and just rather enjoying my experience at the tournament rather than having to worry about trying to get trades off and getting potentially ripped off, because there will be guys there that will probably turn around and try to scam you as much as possible. Leave your trade binders at home. Just bring the decks that you're going to be wanting to play with and use those accordingly. All right, guys? And while at the tournament, guys, keep an eye on your stuff. Best case scenario, yeah, bring a backpack, but when you have your backpack, don't keep it on the side. Keep it in front of you with your legs between the straps. This way, nobody's going to be able to go through them. And nobody's going to be able to pick you off. All right? Just a few tidbits and general information. All right, guys, as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on this channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications, especially YouTube notifications, so you don't miss a single upload from us. All right, guys, as always, check out the description box below. Find the links to our individual YouTube pages so you guys can go there and like and subscribe to us as well. Make donations to PayPal and Patreon, and use the promo code on inkyman.com for a discount. Guys, until next time, as always, peace.